Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 2024 pre-registration orientation for all our new and prospective students. Many of you are joining on various platforms. You are all welcome. I see there are many on the YouTube channel. Some have visited our regional centers. You are all welcome from wherever you are joining us from. We have Ms. Sophie Mabaso, who is going to be doing the sign language interpretation. Colleagues and students, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome. And I would like to start off with some housekeeping rules before I do the formal introduction of the program. You will see, ladies and gentlemen, that you will not be able to post much in the chat as yet. We have a facility. If you go on your screen, if you are on MS Teams, the Q&A option there, you'll find that on the right-hand side, there will be a discussion where we have already posted the topics that we are on the program that we'll be talking about, and at the appropriate time, you'll be able to post your comments based on each of the presentations as you will be able to see. And you won't be able to do that yet, but as presentations start coming up, you'll then be able to make your comments. And we've got colleagues from each of these spaces who are going to be able to share with you the information, the additional information that you may be asking for through the comments and the questions that you'll be posting in the individual spaces. Without taking much time, let me just say that you have made the right decision to join. You are here because you have been invited as a student who has received an offer to study at UNISA. Some of you have already accepted those offers, while others are still contemplating whether or not to accept the offers, but you are all welcome. We are here to provide you with guidance, to share important information, to hold you by the hand so that the very next step in your first year journey at UNISA, which relates to registration and related processes at this point, that you can get all of that information ready for you. Let me also then indicate, as I introduce the next item, that you, as part of the completion of the FYE MOOC, you were required to just give us an indication about the plans you had and the kind of advice and assistance that you got when you were planning your university studies. And we can see from your own response, those that are here, that you have indicated that, for example, in many of your high schools, you didn't have that resource available in order to get guidance in terms of your career path, choice of qualifications that you want to do. But you are here nonetheless, because you were able to get very helpful information. I see many high school teachers did come through for you, your parents and guardians, and things like those. You then also indicated to us that the support that you also got at UNISA, many of you may not have been aware that the university would have been able to assist you even before you became a UNISA student. Some of you did manage to get assistance, and I can assure you the places where you are in the regions, we've got lots of those offices and colleagues who will be able to assist you here on, now that you will be aware. But don't despair, because as some of you may have indicated that you may not have been aware or may not have used that service, we are here, and the next item is going to tell you more about what you can expect from UNISA from support point of view in terms of your career, academic, personal guidance, and counseling. I see here that majority of you are saying, you know what? Time management, I think, is the one thing that could possibly stand in my way of success as I join UNISA, which is a comprehensive, open, e-learning institution that has most of its processes online, but we also have regional presence, as you are already aware, that maybe that is one of the issues that you anticipate is going to stand in your way. Colleagues and fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, the next item is going to unpack all of these items for you and guide you in terms of what you need to do. And I have Lisa Dazer from the Directorate Counseling and Career Development, and she's going to take the floor and tell you more about this. Lisa, if you are ready, please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lekau. I am joined by my colleague, Mr. Vusi Pinyani. And as Lekau now said, we are from the UNISA Directorate Counselling and Career Development. And we are also very glad that you made the decision to attend this morning session. And we will definitely be covering some of the issues that you brought up in the survey that was just shared with you. So Vusi, if you're ready, you can start the presentation and then I will take over from you. Thank you.
Unmute for us, Mr. Pinyani.
Okay. So can you see the document?
Yes, we can see. Please just put it on slideshow mode, and go for it. Thank you very much.
Okay, just give me a sec to that. Good morning to everyone. As Lisa has introduced me, I'm Vusi Pinyani, a student counselor, and we are from the Directorate for Counseling and Career Development. And our main task is to support you as a student at UNISA. And the first things I want to say or to stress is there's this service at UNISA, because some people seem to think that for you to have a contact with a counselor or to get counseling from our directorate, you have to pay. So the first thing is we are here to support you, and you have paid for your fees, the UNISA fees, and that includes this service for you. So the service is offered to you for free as a UNISA student, okay? So you can access the service at any time you want it. So at any time you want it, you can access the services, but sometimes we reach out to you for you to access the service. And what we do normally, our directorate, the main task is to support you before, as mentioned, before you even enter UNISA. If you want to understand and if you don't know what you want to study, and we support you before you enter UNISA. And we support you also during your journey at UNISA, during your studies at UNISA. We are here for you. You might encounter millions of challenges. And we'll talk about a little bit of these challenges a little bit later, but we are here to walk the journey with you as a Directorate for Counseling and Career Development. And also, you complete your studies at UNISA. We don't just draw you out there and said, okay, we're done, or wash our hands and said, we are done as Directorate. No, we still support you after you've completed your studies at UNISA. And we'll show you a little bit later how we do that. So when you come at UNISA, we support you, to choose a career, to choose a qualification that will actually advance your career. We also support you academically because we are here to study. Some people talk about time management, as one of the obstacles that could stand on their ways before for their qualification. and we support you there. So we help you, or I'll see a little bit later how we do that. And also, not only academics issues that will stand on your way, but also personal issues. There are lots of personal issues, and we'll help you with personal guidance. So with counseling, and we offer this counseling for you. So the main purpose for our directorate to exist is to support you, is to help you to succeed as a UNISA student. So we want to see you completing your qualification in record time. We want you to see you when you go out there in the world and saying, I've done my qualification in UNISA because we were there as assisting you, helping you to succeed in your studies. So that's why we talking to you today, so that you can know this service is available for you. And we want to walk this journey with you, but we can only walk this journey with you if you invite us into your life and we walk together, so that at the end you can succeed. Because our aim and our only existence is for you to succeed. Now, how do we then support you as a UNISA student or before? So we support you by career guidance, okay? Support you with career-related and issues, with study planning. So we'll talk about time management. We'll talk about looking at your personal life, how to balance your life. Some different roles. You have different roles. Some people, they're employed, full-time employed. Some are mothers. We are married, and your husband, and we are a student now. There are different roles that you play, and sometimes you find that you need to strike a balance in all those stuff. So we assist you with all these those things. We also assist you with career information, going forward and saying, okay, from here, this is where you move. So we'll show you how we also do that. Secondly, we assist you with learning skills. And we offer to acquire more effective and efficient learning skills. You've been studying, maybe you're coming from high school. You've been using a certain way of studying, and now you're coming to us, and you are an ODEL university, so a distance university, and there's no lecture in front of you. And it's require you to adjust and use different ways of studying, maybe not the one you were using in high school, maybe those ones could still work for you. So, but then we explore with you other ways of learning, other skills that you can incorporate in your life so that you can succeed at UNISA. Thirdly, you look at personal issues. Personal issues talk about you, not in a group, talk about you. So we support you with these personal issues, those issues that negatively impact on your learning process. So we're looking at those, at everything else, but we mainly focus on those issues that negatively affect you, and affect your learning process and your well-being. So these things could be anxiety, it could be stress, could be lack of support, could be relationship issues. Some people have boyfriend, girlfriend issues, husband, wife issues, and employer issues. So we assist you with that. So we invite you, if you are experiencing some of those negative issues that impact negatively on your studies, to approach us, to make an appointment and to come to us, so that we can able to see how we can assist you to navigate all these things, And lastly, we do also assist you with employability skills. Sometimes we look at CVs of people, job searching skills. How do you find a job, and how do you look for a job? And we also look at skills. We receive CVs from different students sometimes, and we look at the CVs and wow, okay, how can we assist you to write a CV that will stand out, that you will, when you send it to a prospective employer, the employer will say, wow, this is a CV, this is a person I want to employ. So we assist you guys with that, okay? We also assist with the interview preparations. This is after we are leaving, or even during your time at UNISA, or even after you have left completed your qualification. So you're saying, I have an interview, and I never went to interview in my life, or we have gone to an interview and you never lengthen the post, that was advertised. And we assist with interview preparation. We prepare you for interviews, and we guide you, and we tell you how to what to do during the interview. So we also, invite you to reach out to us and saying, hey, I have an interview. I've been called to the interview. Please, can you prepare me for this particular interview? So these are the things that we do. We also run a number of workshops that we do at as a directorate. So one of the workshops, we understand some people have come from the high school, some people, the last time they studied was when they were at high school, or some they were actually at the contact university and they're coming here. So we help you to adjust to this environment, to our environment as UNISA. To adjust to this environment of ODEL learning. So that's the first workshop that we will help you with, that will be coming very soon in February after your registration. And the second one is study skills and time management. And some people have already mentioned that some of the things that, and some of the things that we could get in that way is time management. And we'll assist you, how do you manage your time as an ODEL student? And then that exams will also be coming, and we'll assist you with exam preparation. How do you prepare for exams? Okay. And as I've already spoken about the other workshops that we will have during the year, with job readiness workshop, where we look at your CV, we assist you to write your CV, we assist you with job searching skills, we assist you with interview skills. We also have a virtual Grand Expo or conversation where we, as a directorate with other universities, we invite prospective employers. So this is the platform where you can meet prospective employers yourself and speak to them. So we create that platform for you and saying, okay, here are the employers out there, and you can meet them. Talk to them, ask them, they are a requirement, ask them how to get to the particular field, what to do, and all stuff. So it's a conversation between you, which is personal, and prospective employers. So we create that platform for you. And then we also have personal development workshops. Those ones that will look at your self-confidence. They also look at loss and grief. For example, they also look at managing relationships. And there are also lots of other workshops, like, for example, some workshop that will look at suicide and self-growth. There's lots of workshops that we provide as a directorate that will assist you in your journey at UNISA. But then when we come to counseling, we ask a very important question: how do we offer this counseling? Okay, how do we offer counseling to students? So this, we do it by face-to-face. So you can go to any office, to any UNISA office, even in the regions, depending where you are. But in most offices, they will have a student counselor. A student counselor will be there, so you can walk in and then you can see a student counselor. It's the first way. So it's face-to-face, it's personal if you need help. So you happen to be in visiting a particular campus and you decide, oh, now I want to see a student counselor will be available. However, that is limited, because sometimes you might find that the student counselor is on leave. You might find that the student counselor is on in the workshop, or is busy in a particular meeting, and therefore we offer the online one. Okay. The online one, it can be through telephonically, so we can call you. So you don't have to say, I don't have data, I don't have money to connect a student. Just make an appointment and say to us, okay, I want to have a session with a counselor. Okay, can please the counselor call me? We'll call you and communicate with you. Or it could be done through emails. Okay, and recently, since because of COVID, and we have gone through to MS Teams, and we do a lot of counseling on Teams. So you go to, we'll show you at the end the contact details, how you make an appointment, the booking. You're making a booking online. and the counsellor then will be available for you to contact you to have that session online. And most students, when we did a little bit of survey about the MS Teams, they were very happy with this mode of counselling, because for them it saved them. They don't have to leave their house. They don't have to have money for transport. They don't have to wait for hours. So the appointment is made maybe at 9, and then the counsellor then will meet with you at 9. We also have digital resources that are available for you that you can access at any time at your convenient time. It could be DCCD website. We'll show you at the end how to get connected to the DCCD website, or it could be a YouTube channel that we have also, where we upload most of our workshops. So if you missed the workshop, you can go to our YouTube, you'll find that workshop available. So this is what we want to do for you. This is why we are here for you, so that we can support you in your journey at UNISA. Throughout your journey at UNISA, and help you. And we strongly advise you to make contact with us, and we will then make sure we journey with you. I hand over to you, Lisa.
Thank you, Vusi. So the next thing that we want to talk to you about is how you can prepare to start studying and for your life to change. Because remember, your commitment in terms of your studies will mean that there are some adjustments that you will need to make in your life so that you can complete your qualification. So questions that we want you to think about are: what would you like to achieve by completing your qualification? What do you already have in place that could help you to succeed with your studies? So what are the support or the other aspects that you already have that can help you be successful in your studies? But then also importantly, thinking about what are the other things that you still need to put in place to help you succeed with your studies. And we always talk to students about, as you are committing to this study journey, think about writing down a personal success statement. It could even be a letter that you put for yourself in a sealed envelope, and you will open it once you complete your qualification. So one way is to then reflect or to make a commitment. It does not matter what happens and how I feel. I will get through this year because, and then you complete the statement. Another way is, as I mentioned, with a letter that you write to yourself, that you will then open at a time, for example, at the end of your qualification or the end of each year. And in that letter, you need to write a letter to yourself. What do you want to tell your future self? Where do you see yourself at the time that you're opening the letter? What have you achieved? What are the things that you still need to achieve? Thank you, Vusi. Okay, so we will briefly talk about looking at your different environments. So you've got a social environment. So those include the people around you. Do the people who live with you, for example, or if you are working, people who work with you, your employer, your boss, do all of these people understand the importance of your studies? Do they understand, or have you told them what support you are going to need in terms of your study journey? Then we move to the physical environment. So thinking about, where will you study? Who do you need to negotiate with in terms of getting space to study? Is your space at home? Would you need to go outside? Do you need to study at a neighbor, at a library? So you need to start thinking about, where can you negotiate a stable place to study? And then your internal environment. So these are the beliefs you have about yourself, and some questions that you could talk about or think about these. Do you believe that you can complete your qualification? So really being honest about believing in yourself that you can complete. Then also reflecting on what you will do when you experience challenges. So attending this workshop, for example, is already an important first step, because you will be hearing a lot about the different support structures and the support that UNISA offers. So already you have an idea of what you can do or who you can reach out to if you experience challenges. And then also a very important question is to reflect on your career planning. So are you sure that you've made the most effective choice in terms of your career by choosing the qualification that you have chosen to apply for and will also register for? Thank you, Vusi. Okay, so a lot of you, we saw the feedback that Lekar shared with us is that a lot of you are thinking about time management as a very important aspect of being a successful student. And there's one thing that I always think about is that time is a finite construct. So there's only so much time in a day. But what is within your control is that you can choose what you do with the time that you have available. So that's something very important to keep in mind. So before you plan specific study activities, so before you plan now on registering for next year, you need to start making time in your life for your studies. So this involves really looking at how you are currently spending your time. And spending your time, remember, you will have your studies, but you can't put the rest of your life on hold. So there are also other commitments that you have. For example, you may be a child, you may be a parent, you may be a brother or a sister, you may be an employee, you may be a sports person, you may be part of a community organization or church. So you really need to consider all of those aspects as you are thinking about how am I currently spending my time and how can I make more time for my studies in future? Thanks, Lucy. Okay, so we've just got a sample weekly planner here. So we asked a first year student to make notes of how she normally spends her time. So if you look on the timetable, it's from Monday to Sunday, and then there's different time slots. So she has slotted all the different responsibilities that she has in those time slots. So if we look at Rasuna's, the name of the student, she is working, but then she's also made time, for example, for family, even things like watching television, and then she's got some studying time, sleeping time, spending time with friends and so forth. So if we add up all the time that she's allocated for studies, we see that she said she's got 17 hours a week for her studies. And UNISA recommends that if you are doing a semester module, that you schedule about 6 to 8 hours per week for a semester module, and then 4 to 6 hours per week for year modules. And she's currently registered for 4 modules, 4 semester modules, meaning that if she would want to really have enough time for her studies, she would need to allocate at least 24 to 32 hours a week for her studies. So with her current situation, she's really budgeting too little time for her studies. Thank you, Lucy. So after talking to her, she then made some plans of how can she find more time in the week. So remember I said it's about how do you choose to spend your time. So she decided, for example, to wake up earlier in the morning and to spend an hour each morning on her studies. She is also negotiating help with cooking dinner at least 3 times a week so that she can use that time for studying. She's currently spending quite a lot of hours watching television, so she will also minimize watching television, and this will already give her an additional 11 hours per week. She could also consider spending less time with her friends, giving her another 5 hours a week, and then helping Rasuna to get enough time for her studies. She will then need to think about how she could make these adjustments. So one of the things that you can really do in terms of planning your time is to go and take a look, how much time are you spending on activities at the moment, and where will you make time for your studies so that you have enough time to prepare, to do assignments, to write exams and so forth. Thank you, Vusi. Okay, so just coming back in terms of the support that is available to you, Vusi spoke about the different modes of counselling, how we are available, but what you've really got access to 24/7 basically is our website. So over time, we've taken a lot of care in terms of putting together resources that could help you in terms of your academic development, your personal development, as well as your career development. So if there's one website in addition to My UNISA that we would really want you to go and take a look at what is available, remember the counselling website. Thank you, Vusi. And then Vusi also spoke about the different regional centres. So just to give you an idea of if you would want to consult with a counsellor in your region, you're welcome to look at our contact details, which we'll share with you. And this is where we are. So there are centres, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, or basically in all the provinces. And then the Northern Cape students are also taken care of by the Western Cape colleagues. Thank you, Vusi. And then finally, how to contact us. So as you are preparing to study, think about even keeping, you can be old school and keeping an old address book, or you can have a digital file where you keep all the important contact details for support at UNISA. So our email address, counselling@unisa.ac.za. Vusi also mentioned that you can book an online appointment on MS Teams. So there's also a link for you to be able to do that. You can also contact a counsellor at the regional office, which we've spoken about, and there's a link for you to get the addresses and also telephone numbers and email addresses for those counsellors. Then I've talked about the website. And then lastly, we publish a number of videos on our YouTube channel. So also go and take a look at the different videos about academic, personal and career development that will really help you to, even as you are preparing to study, to consider those different aspects. So from our side, we really wish you very well in your journey. And please don't forget to contact us at any time if you need to have a further conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Vusi. A huge round of applause I can see from the reactions, appreciating your presentation. The information you've shared is quite valuable. Two things from my side. The first is that services are free. So other than paying for your fees and buying textbooks, anything else that the university provides to you is absolutely free. I see we have been joined by a huge number of students on the YouTube. Thank you very much for staying put. In the regions, those who have joined us after we had started, you are welcome to do so and stay with us until we are done. Then the issue of the Q&A, I did say that you will find a session on the Q&A segment at the top of your screen. If you just click on the button for let me just go back. Just if you click on the Q&A, you'll be able to find this section there, and you can post your comments under the relevant section, depending on the topic or presentation that was made. You can post your questions and comments over there. All right. Then we proceed to the next item. And this next item is about the registration process. I just picked one of the questions that we asked you while you were preparing to accept your offers, to say, because you were able to scroll through the different qualifications, maybe you checked out some modules, but maybe you didn't yet internalize. which modules you are likely to register for. Maybe things just didn't make sense for you. So we can see that a lot of you said, yes, I think I've seen enough, I understand. Some of you said, I don't quite know. Some just were very clear that, you know what, I need help. And help is what the next presentation is going to do for you. Not just help in terms of modules, but everything else that relates to the registration process that is going to open very soon. I have with me Memalebu Bridget. She's going to render this item. Over to you, ma'am. You may unmute and proceed.
Good morning, colleagues, and good morning to you all, students. Welcome to this orientation. I would like to thank Mr. Rashidi for the warm welcoming note that he gave to all of us. You are most welcome, as Mr. Rashidi has said, and my colleagues who have already presented will be taking care of you on areas and aspects that they have just mentioned. I am going to talk about applications and registrations, because in order for you to be a UNISA student, you must have applied and you must have received an offer of placement from UNISA, which offer you have to accept, and this is done online. You cannot get registered, or your portal won't be open until you have accepted the offer. I know that some of you will see this paragraph where we are saying UNISA reserves the right to not process or to cancel your registration if it is found that you were incorrectly admitted to a qualification. Don't be scared. This happens, but not normally. It's highly unlikely that you will find students, or more than 1% of these students, that were incorrectly admitted to their qualifications. I am saying this because when you apply, you surely have read the application rules. You surely know what you qualify for. For instance, you may not apply for a degree qualification if you only have an entry to the diploma. Now, re-registering students, I know this is the first time, but you, in the second semester, you will be re-registering students. Now, as soon as you are registered students, UNISA provides you with an email address, an email which we call the My Life email account. You have to claim it, it is yours. This is the platform where the university will be communicating you with. Remember, for now, you're using your own Gmails and whatever mails that you have. But as soon as you are registered, registration has been confirmed, then you will be furnished with this My Life account. So please.
Memalebu, may
Hello.
I just interject for a second? Your presentation is not showing. If we can just sort that one quickly.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Mashishi, if you, okay, I think it's coming up. You can click on it because we see your email. Yes, you can go to the slideshow.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem, but go ahead,
Okay.
please.
All right. So I was talking about the My Life. It is your responsibility as a student to claim your My Life email account, which is free of charge, by the way. You're not paying anything for it, because this is the platform on which the university will be communicating with you. Now, our registrations are online, just like you applied online. Your registration will also be online. So the registration dates will be furnished to you as soon as, and you will be able to see those dates as we go on with my presentation. Should you wish to change to an alternative qualification, you have still to apply online. Let's say you have been a student, maybe you were doing an undergraduate qualification or a different qualification. Now you want to do a new qualification, you must still apply, because the transfer is just not automatic. You must apply so that we determine if you meet the requirements for registration. As we continue with your re-registering online, if you want to cancel your registration, there are forms that you will see the links on the web, which you use when you do your cancellation. You don't have to go to any regional office or to the main campus to do all these actions. We are trying our best to save you money. We know that you are there, you call yourselves the 2Ks, 20Ks or 2Ks, I don't know. But then that is when we know that you are technologically savvy. You're not like us. So for you, doing your things online will be quite easy. We really show off that. When you register, you must check first that the maximum period of time for that qualification. For instance, we have qualifications that are of a 4-year nature. We have others that are done in 3 years. You check that. Again, you have to check your study fees. They will also be found online. Calculate your study fees, including the additional material that you may need and the library card costs that may be there, so that when you start with your registration or you finish and now you have to pay, you are very certain of the amount that you are supposed to pay or you have to pay. We also have a declaration where you are telling us that you have read all the UNISA student rules, and therefore by signing there or ticking there, you are saying you're going to abide by all the rules. Our qualifications are structured in such a way that you need to pass a certain number of NQF level credits. You will see the slides regarding NQF level. These have to be passed within a certain amount of time in order for you to graduate, and again, in order for you not to be phased out in the university, because you cannot stay forever on the system. We know that you would like to go out there and create jobs, or you would like to go out there and be one of the working force which will be bringing a difference or making a difference in our country. Therefore, we are helping you to push yourself or to exert yourself in such a way that you meet the time frame that is prescribed for you to do your qualification. Now, I will be explaining the core requisites and the prerequisites, and I will project that. But for now, for you to know, if you go there, you want to register, you see your curriculum, and you see that they say module B is a core requisite of module A. It means those have to be done simultaneously. You have to register for them both because they are linked to each other. You cannot do one without the other, but you can do module A without having done module B. However, module B cannot be done without you having done module A. As I'm saying to you students, A and B, we know A comes first and then B comes last. You go to do B, you're going to certainly fail A because A is a building block to B. Now we also have prerequisites. Prerequisites is when you have to pass a module first before you can register for the next module, the succeeding module. We have rules because we're trying not to allow you or you to allow yourselves to overload you with work. You may not register for more than the maximum number of credits per academic year or per semester. Per semester, it's 60 credits. Sometimes this 60 credits amounts to 5 modules. In fact, mostly it amounts, to 5 modules in a semester. Per year, it's 120 credits, meaning it's 10 modules in a year. Remember when now you are registering in the second semester, and maybe you have a supplementary examination. This supplementary exemption will count towards the modules that you would like to register in the second semester. Let me put a scenario. You have registered for 5 modules in the first semester. You managed to pass 4, and you have 1 which is a supplementary. Now, in the second semester, you won't be able to register for 5 modules. You will have to register for 4 because this supplementary is going to count as a registered module against your qualification or against your profile on the system. Yes, our colleagues have provided you with links on how to manage your studies. We also are encouraging you here by emphasizing and showing you where to click. You have to click to get that. The exam timetable, students, is quite important. This allows you or enables you to choose your modules in a way that your examinations do not clash, or you don't have to sit for an examination in the morning, an examination in the afternoon, an examination the following day. So the examination timetable has to be consulted. Every time you choose the module, you go and check the examination timetable. If you feel that, okay, this one I'm writing on the 10th of October, okay, the next one which I want, this one I'm writing, for instance, on the 15th of October. I'm good to go, then you can do that. We have also transitional arrangements. Transitional arrangements are mostly applicable to returning students. However, we have to talk about them here so that you are able to distinguish between transitional arrangements and exemptions. A transitional arrangement, and yes, it might be applicable to you as a first-time students in terms of the configuration of the system. If our system maybe is not correctly configured, let's say you have passed English 1 at the University of Pretoria, and this English 1 is offered in a qualification, say like LLB. Now you try to register for this after you have applied maybe for an exemption, and you see that no, there's this English in this curriculum, but I've passed it. Now I really need to apply for an for an exemption on it. Then when you try to apply, then they tell you that no, this one is not an equivalent for instance, for ILW 1501. It was for students who were doing this curriculum before, and they had already passed this module. So when we replaced the old module, the ILW, with this one, we are saying to students, do not redo this module. We don't want you to lose your credits. Now I'm just going to show you an example. Why is this, Mr. Rachid? This doesn't want to open.
You may have to just escape. Just escape so that you are back in the normal mode and try to double click again.
No.
Just press escape on your keyboard to get out of the slideshow. Yes,
Okay.
then try to double click on the icon in the middle
the
there.
icon. Okay,
Let's see
thank
if it
you.
opens.
I think it's going to open.
Great,
Students, you will be confronted with such. When you register, there is no way that you will not be seeing your curricula. I'm just making an example of the Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies here. You see, there are admission rules which you have already gone through. And now there are rules on qualification. It tells you that this degree consists of 29 modules. And it will also tell you that there are prerequisites and core-requisites that are outlined. Now, here's our first level. It says we have Group A, which are core modules, meaning you have to register for these 1, 2, 3, 4 modules. Then we have our fundamental modules. These fundamental modules are sort of compulsory as well, because they have to be done. So now you've chosen some of these or all of these, and then, or maybe you want to choose the first 2, and then you go to your fundamentals in your first semester, you do the first 2, and then it says electives, select 1. Yes, I know that some of you might see the My Modules brochure where there's a description of a module, and you feel that, I like both. You are not allowed here to take 2. You only take 1, so that you comply with the rules of this qualification. Then we go to our second level. Our second level has compulsory modules also which we call core modules in this curriculum. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. These have to be registered. They have to be taken. Unfortunately, this qualification is offered on a staggered basis, meaning for 2024, because it is fairly new, in 2024, we will only be offering the first level, the NQF 5, NQF level 5 modules. And then from 2025, we're going to offer these ones. When you see offered from 2025, then know that in 2024, these modules won't be offered. However, they will be compulsory once you get on to the next stage, the second level of your studies, you will find them there. So you've got to do these 6, and you must also do these 3, which are fundamental. And then you choose one that you like between these 3. You know what happens if you go and choose 3 here? You choose 2 here under compulsory, or you choose 5 there under those cores. You are not going to graduate, because the core and the compulsory modules are very, very important. Therefore, you have to follow the rules, abide by them, because this is how the curriculum is structured. We are not rigid in terms of curricula, because we need you to expand on many areas in your lifetime. Okay, Mr. Rachidi, I want to go back to the slides. What do I do this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we've spoken about you continuing to calculate. We have said a bachelor's degree may consist sometimes of 8 modules on a first NQF level 5, then 10 modules on NQ level 6, and then 12 on NQF level 7. Sometimes it will be 10, 10, 10. On those ones, mostly those are the structured ones. You'll find 10, 10, 10. Now, these levels follow on from one another. You cannot go to NQF level 7 without you having the knowledge of the modules preceding NQF level 7, which is NQF level 6, as well as NQF level 5. Now, exemptions, which is what I touched on earlier on. Let's say you are from another institution of higher learning. Any recognized institution of higher learning recognized by South Africa, in South Africa. And you feel that there are modules that you have passed and they are prescribed for the current qualification that you want to register with us. You may apply for credit exemptions. This is also done online. And you will find the form on our DSAR registration forms. I will show you the links at the bottom or at the end of this. And only students who are registered for the formal qualification can apply for credit exemptions. If you are registered for non-degree purposes, you may not apply for this. If also you have applied for a +23, which we call for a full conditional exemption of the matriculation board, then those exemptions will only be checked, will only be processed after you have done, after we have finalized your application for the matriculation exemption. Matriculation exemption, some of us call it age exemption. It's only people who are 23 plus 23 who can apply for this. Those who did not get a full matric exemption in their studies, those are the old matric studies that we did. As you can see, that I'm your mother, so I'm one of the people who did the old matric, not the one that you're doing now. As I have alluded earlier on, you will have to visit our UNISA website, where you will see the forms for application for exemptions. And please bear in mind that exemptions can only be processed after registrations have been closed. Because you can imagine, if we are going to do exemptions while, or of my exemptions, processing my exemptions, because luckily enough, I'm already registered, and yet you are still in the queue to be registered, and we're busy with exemptions, which is quite a long process. We will not be doing justice to you, because you also want to access your material. You want to be registered, access your material, and be able to proceed with your studies. So exemptions are only processed once all registrations that are received by this university are finalized. We have, much as we have our admission rules, which you know about, which you went through before you applied, we also have readmission rules. Students may be excluded on basis of poor academic performance. However, if you are academically excluded, you may still appeal to the executive dean of the relevant college with a documentation, supporting documentation on why you should be readmitted to studies. Normally, if you are excluded academically, you will see that there are rules that you have to follow, meaning you will have to go and do an NQF level 5 certificate, a certificate of 120 credits at any other institution or even here at UNISA. And as soon as you complete that, you can attach your academic record and reapply or apply for readmission. Then we will take you. We will readmit you to your studies. And if you fail to do that 48 credits certificate at any accredited institution, it's going to be sometimes a short learning course. And again, I would say to students, do not despair. For instance, if you are excluded and we say go and do a short learning course of 48 credits or more, go for it with zest and enthusiasm, because at the end of the day, that certificate, it's going to count in your favor. You are going to have a qualification at that level, a higher certificate on something that you have passed, on something. For instance, let's say you did one in music. You will be competent in that field. And then you come back and you redo your studies or your degree. We admit you, or you change your qualification. We admit you, you carry on with your studies. By the end of this degree, you will be holding 2 certificates, your short learning certificate course, and as well as your degree. UNISA has made it easy for you to access some of your administrative information or functions. Please log into my UNISA to access the administrative forms, e.g. the cancellation, addition of modules, as well as the application for our exemptions. We no longer accept faxes or emailed forms. You have to complete the said forms. Please, students, make use of the My UNISA. You have to log on to your My UNISA. You are going to get a password. Your password is like your PIN number at the bank. Only you, and I want to stress this, only you must have that. Don't share it with anybody else. We've had cases where students would say, I see that you've cancelled my studies. However, I've never requested or made such a request. But we do have it. So maybe you've shared your My UNISA information with somebody who used it because they have your student number, they have your PIN, which is what I was talking about, and they go in and pretend to be you. So please be careful with your student number as well as your My UNISA login details. Don't share them with anybody at any given point. This has been bolded and written in big letters because we would like you to know that we are not using the post office to send your study material, especially the first study packs. We will be using a courier service, which you don't have to pay for. The university has that covered. So we have two different modes on that. It's either you choose the courier or you go, we will be opening some of these study centers for collection where you can go and collect your study material. In Pretoria, the Sunnyside building. In Florida, the science building, the science campus. We have our Durban office, Pietermaritzburg, Mafikeng, Ekurhuleni, the Johannesburg one, and Nelspruit, Giyani, and Vaal. Please make use of these resources that the university is providing for you. And when you choose your courier or a courier as an option for your material to be delivered, you have to provide the university with a valid and active cell phone number. We've had instances where some of the students will provide us with their brother's number who does not even stay with them in the same house. Now, the courier service people want to deliver the study pack to you. They have to phone the number that is available on the UNISA system. We phone the brother. We don't know it's the brother. We think it's you. And then the brother says, no, I'm not at home. I will only see them after 3 months. It works to your disadvantage. So please have a cell phone number which is active and valid. And your physical address also. Please include your street name or every other detail that you have to include so that your study material can be delivered to you timely. Now we have our registration dates. We will be opening the registrations for those who have accepted the offer on the 5th of January, 2024 for all undergraduate qualifications and also for all postgraduate qualifications. These include the honors qualifications. Now, the 9th of February will be the closing date for registration. I think you will see we're talking about the closing date and then also talking about the final payment date. You may not register after the 9th. On the 9th, if you have submitted your registration, it will be there on the system, and then it will wait for your payment. You will be given until the 16th of February to make payments, the initial payment for us to process your registration or to access, to activate your registration. You may not register on the 16th. You may only pay after having registered on or before the 9th of February. The moment you get registered, you will have access to the portal of your study material, which you can download there and then and start off with your studies. Do not delay. Remember, we are in an open distance learning electronic environment here. So as soon as you get registered, as soon as you access your material, start with your studies. Don't wait and say, okay, I haven't had anything from UNISA, meaning the schools have not started. So please, you start as soon as you get that. Then we have our postgraduate studies and the year modules. The year modules, the closing date thereof slightly differs from the semester 1 registration dates. We have until March the 22nd to do our honors as well as year modules. So please, semester 1, don't confuse it with year modules. All the modules that are semesterized close on the 9th, and those that are year modules on the 22nd. Now, we also, the university has extended the applications for those. You can go and tell your brothers and sisters who still want to do their honors or their masters and doctorates that the university has extended the applications for them until January. Then the second semester registrations will commence on the 8th of July. And the final payment will be the 12th of July. Sorry, this was incorrectly. We received the dates vice versa. It will close on the 12th of July. 8th July we open, registration closes on the 12th, and then payment closes on the 19th. It's not the other way around. Yes, we have different methods of making your payments. You can use our banking details. We do not take cash in any of our facilities. We no longer have those cash modes. Even if you come here, you go to your self-help, you are going to still pay online. We do not accept cash anymore. You have to be mindful of UNISA's correct bank account, and you use the correct reference. The correct reference is your student number. Everywhere where they say reference, please, you have to write your student number. If you still want a quotation for your studies, You may go to the website and download it yourself. You need not contact us. It's easy for you to go and download it. And please, after having paid, allow 48 hours of processing, because between the bank and UNISA, we have that time frame of 48 hours. You will pay at the bank, they will process whatever they have to process, but we will only see it here at UNISA after 48 hours. So don't call us after paying immediately and say, I've just paid, therefore I need a confirmation of my registration. We have some useful links on the web, which I will not open, but you will see them as you go on our website. If you have forgotten your student number, it's now easy for you to retrieve it, to get it again, because your student number is yours for life. It does not change at any point in time. You will retain that student number. Let's say you are starting off with your diploma or degree, right up to PhD level, you will still be using that same student number as long as you are with UNISA. You will see the link for study fees quotation, the link for online payment, and you can also track your registration status. After you have submitted your form, if your registration was not real time, because mostly these qualifications, their registrations thereof are real time. You register now, if you've paid, you will see how far you are. You will get a letter immediately that you are registered. And you will also see the link where you download your study material, and also the form where you apply for exemptions. We've got student policies and rules here. Every place has rules. Every place has policies. You know that there are rules at home. Therefore, we also have rules. You will find the students' disciplinary code on the website. And also, but hopefully you won't find yourselves being disciplined for anything. But should that comes into play, there are guidelines on how this go about. And we don't copy here at UNISA, my dear students, because there is a policy regarding copying, infringement, and plagiarism. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Memalebo. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. I'm looking at my screen and all I see is love or hearts and clapping, thumbs up to say thank you very much for that information. Students have found it very, very valuable. But as they are clapping, I'm thinking maybe I should ask one or two questions. Did they catch the point about the reference number? What should be the reference number? And I hope they did get that it's the student number all the time, whatever you do, even as you have registered, whenever you communicate with the university, we always use the official mailbox. I hope you also got the core requisite, the difference between core requisite and prerequisite. I see some are not very, very sure. But all of this, ladies and gentlemen, the presentations, the many links that you have seen, you are going to get a very nice package in your email next week with all the information, the frequently asked questions, the links to the different sites, all of that will be ready for you. Can I just see by show of thumbs up if you feel you are a little bit more ready now? If registration was to open tomorrow, you will know what to do. Just by thumbs up if you are almost sure you'll be able to go about things. But of course, even if you're not ready, in the previous presentation, we had that you can contact colleagues who are at the regions where you are or on the online platforms that were shared if you need any assistance to kickstart your academic journey at UNISA, to plan even from the point of how many modules you want to do. Will I have enough time to do 3 or 4 modules? Things like those. So you have already had, and now you know that UNISA has. I'm going to ask Me Lindy Shiburi to just switch on her camera only for now as I introduce the next item, because I'm going to ask her to switch it off as soon as she starts presenting, just so that you can see her. And I want to then just say, those who are in the regions, we are very happy. We did want to see if you are planning to make use of the facilities that are in the region. You've already had snippets of the services that you will get if you are unable to use technology to access them. And many of you did say, yeah, there's a chance I'm going to be there. Now you have even more reason why you should go to the region if you do not have ways and means to access the online services. Ladies and gentlemen, UNISA has got a radio station, just in case you were not aware. It's an online radio station. You have Morning Cruise, you have Campus Wise, Lunchbox, and U10. So those are the slots on a daily basis. And this is where you can access the UNISA radio. This is a platform also where you can hear a lot more about UNISA. There are presentations that are done, interviews that are conducted there, so that you are able to benefit from this facility as well. As I introduce the next item, UNISA does provide funding opportunities to you. In one of the previous slides, well, I think it's this particular slide actually, that indicates some of you said, I think I'll have some money to register and pay for my fees. Others said they're going to get bursaries. Many of you will be funded by NSFAS and so on. But in case you still are looking for ways to fund your studies come 2024, here is an opportunity. And Ms. Lindy Shiburi is going to tell us more about how you can access the funding opportunities here. Over to you, Ms. Shiburi.
Thank you, Mr. Rashid. I'll start my presentation. So my name is Lindy. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. This might be someone else who is not muted on your side that is creating an echo, but let's try again and see.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. Go for it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rashid, and welcome to our guest. So my name is Lindy, as Mr. Rashid has mentioned, and we're coming from student funding. So I'm not alone, I am with Mr. Lisabe. So I'll be presenting the NSFAS bursary, and Mr. Lisabe will present the UNISA and private bursaries. So as UNISA student funding, we administer donors funds in the form of study loans, bursaries, according to the donors criteria. Mr. Rashid?
If you can just try again to project. It's not yet showing.
Oh, it's not showing yet. Okay, let me share. Okay, I'm sharing. Can you see my screen?
It looks like it's coming, it's here. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, thank you. As I was saying, so student funding, we administer donors funds in the form of study loans and bursaries according to the donors' criteria. Our main aim is to assist financially needy and academically deserving students. Our vision is to be a beacon of great hope and excellency to our students and donors. So the Directorate administers NSFAS, UNISA, and private bursaries. So I'll start with the NSFAS DHET bursary. So currently the NSFAS bursary is open. So the application, you can do your application on NSFAS website. So the application opened this month on the 13th and it's going to close next year, 31st January 2024. So students are allowed to do their application online. So the application outcomes. So please, student, note that the institution does not have control or access to student bursaries application, and therefore we cannot speed up the evaluation process of the application. Student must ensure all required documents are submitted for the application to be evaluated. So once you've done your application, you must make sure that you always log into your NSFAS portal, check if NSFAS need more documents or you submitted all your documents that's required, or if you are approved or rejected and what is the reason for a rejection. And the institution can only finalize your registration once NSFAS has confirmed your funding. Meaning before NSFAS confirms your funding, UNISA won't be able to activate your registration. We also have students who might be rejected. So if you are rejected, new and returning students must appeal directly with NSFAS on their NSFAS portal. High certificate student who will be starting a formal qualification and reapplied for funding but are rejected due to M+ must appeal the rejection and submit the higher certificate completion letter. So here, usually if you completed your higher certificate, when you reapply again, because you need to reapply for your formal qualification, other students might be rejected by NSFAS saying that they've completed their qualification. So students are allowed to appeal and submit the completion letter of their certificate to confirm to NSFAS that yes, they've completed their higher certificate, but now they are applying for the formal qualification. Also, students who appeal must finalize their registration while waiting for the appeal outcomes, because NSFAS, UNISA won't be able to activate their registration if they are still rejected by NSFAS. Also, students must note that funding will be migrated, especially for returning students. So returning students, their funding will be migrated from the following year. If you have created a new profile, met the academic criteria, still within the income threshold, and have not exceeded the N+. Also, NSFAS, there are other qualifications that they don't fund. So NSFAS does not fund advanced certificate, advanced diplomas, non-degree purposes, post-grade diplomas, honors degree, master's degrees, and PhD, because NSFAS, they only fund your first undergrad qualification. So your post-grad qualification, NSFAS, they don't cover for those. NSFAS, they don't fund second qualification, even if student did fund their first qualification. So even if you fund yourself, you paid for your first qualification, when you do your second qualification, even if it's the undergrad qualification, NSFAS won't be able to pay for you. Also, for students who move from university to university, students can only transfer once the institution has received the funded global list or the institutional portal is updated to the current year. So students are advised to finalize registration until such time we can confirm their funding. Previous institution must also ensure that academic results are loaded for the funding to be migrated. To students who are moving from TVET to university, you need to have passed and completed your TVET qualification and must reapply for the university funding. Also, NSFAS does not, if you are funded by NSFAS, you also qualify for, So NSFAS covers for your tuition fees. NSFAS also cover your learning material allowances and the laptop allowances, including the incidental allowances for students who have registered for 10 modules or more. Meaning, for your learning material, if students registered 1 module up to 4 modules, they can only qualify for 700 Rand per module. And for students who registered from 5 modules and more, they qualify for a total of 5,460, including the incidental allowances for students who registered for 10 modules or more, which is 304.50 for students who registered for 10 modules or more. So for this current year, allowances were distributed in this way. So first semester, we send a link to students for them to update their banking details. So allowances were distributed by UNISA. But from second semester, NSFAS took over the allowances. So they were the one who were distributing the allowances to students. So for 2024, we are currently not sure whether NSFAS will take over the allowances or UNISA will continue distributing the allowances. So that will still be confirmed. Then also NSFAS, they don't cover for supplementary exam fees. NSFAS, they don't cover for your remark fee, late cancellation fee, and your textbook charges, meaning students will have to pay for themselves if they are funded by EU NSFAS. Beside the NSFAS, we also have NSFAS DHED disability bursary, meaning this bursary covers for students who have disability. So the NSFAS disability bursary provide financial support to students with disability who requires financial aid and possess the ability to pass their academic support. So the application is still on the NSFAS website. So applicant must ensure that they have declared their disability in the application and uploaded the Annexure A form. So the Annexure form, you can get it on the NSFAS website. If you are successful in your application for financial aid and you have received notice of the final approval amount from NSFAS, you may arrange to purchase your assistive device through the student disability unit at the institution. Also, what does the disability bursary covers? So the disability bursary covers for your tuition fees, which is payable to the institution, the learning material allowances for which is 704 per module, and the living allowances of 304.50 for students who registered 10 modules or more. They also pay for cost of assistive device and human support where applicable. We also have Funza Lushaka Bursary. So the Funza Lushaka Bursary program is a multi-year program to promote teaching as a profession. Bursaries are available to ensure selected students to complete a teaching qualification in the identified subject priority area. So the recipient of the bursary will be required to teach at a public school for the same number of years that they received the bursary. So the Funza Lushaka bursary is currently open. It has opened from the 8th of October 2023. So the closing date differs. For the new students, closing date is going to be the 2nd of February 2024. And for the returning student who've been using the Funza Lushaka bursary, the closing date is today, 30th November 2023. Then who is eligible to apply for the Funza Lushaka bursary? Any academically gifted young learners currently in grade 12 who wish to study for BEd qualification, graduate below the age of 30 who wants to complete a teaching qualification or enroll for a PGCE as their continuing qualification. People below the age of 30 who wants to make a career change and become teachers. So the outcomes for Funza Lushaka: new students, applicants will be evaluated and finalized around April, May, meaning the outcomes will be around April, May. And if you started your studies for first semester, you are required to finalize your registration pending outcomes. Then the time Funza Lushaka confirm the funding, then that's when we're going to switch to Funza Lushaka. What does the bursary cover? So the bursary covers for your tuition fees, accommodation, including meals, books and learning material, and allowance for monthly living expenses. We also have the DMV bursary. So the DMV bursary student can apply on the DMV website. So you can go to the DMV website for details on how to apply. Then who can apply for the DMV bursary? So the military veterans and their dependents who wish to apply for education support benefits. What does the bursary cover? The bursary covers for tuition fees, laptop, learning material allowance, living allowance. And then what are the required documents if you want to apply for the DMV bursary? So the required document is a certified copy of military veterans ID documents, a certified copy of dependent unabridged birth certificate, a certified copy of a dependent's grades report. A tertiary student must include their complete academic record and a copy of acceptance or provisional admission letter from the institution. We also have the TRC bursary. So the TRC bursary, who can qualify for the TRC bursary? A person declared a victim of apartheid by the Trust and Reconciliation Commission and or their dependent or relatives. A dependent includes any person whom the TRC identified victim has or had a legal or customary duty to support, which could include children, grandchildren, and the spouse of the identified victim. So students are advised to visit the Justice website for details on how to apply. Also, for the returning students who are currently using the TRC, must renew their application. So what are the requirements for students to qualify for the TRC? So to qualify for the TRC bursary or assistance, the applicant must be a member of a household which earns less than 339,337 gross income per year. The applicant must be a member of a vulnerable household. See the criteria for vulnerable household on the TRC website. The applicant who need assistance must be enrolled in a public university or TVET college for undergrad studies only. Application must be emailed to trceducation@justice.gov.za. So what does the bursary cover? So the bursary covers the tuition fees, your textbook allowances, your meal allowance, your transport allowances. So for students who are approved by NSFAS, what is the registration process? So the registration process is NSFAS sends a list of approved students to the institution for the new and returning students. Then we at the DSF, we will allocate funds for the student and activate their registration. Then we will also upload their registration data on the NSFAS portal after the date of registration. NSFAS process data received from the institution, verify the following: registration, the registered qualification, the N+ rule, and etc. Successful data is then linked and updated on the NBA report. Once linked, the allowance will be disbursed to students. So if students have queries, Then you are allowed to send all your queries relating to NSFAS and pre-funded pre-funded NSFAS bursaries should be sent to this mailbox, which is the dsf@unisa.ac.za, because we have a dedicated team that works on this mailbox daily. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shiburi. Thank you very much. Don't disappear yet. I'm just waiting to see how many claps you are getting, and shucks, thousands of appreciation for that information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for staying with us. I just want to ask you, Ms. Shiburi, to clarify just one point for me and maybe for the students as well, the issue of learning material allowance or laptop, because it's not and laptop. So I just want, if anyone is asking themselves what the difference there is, if you can please just clarify that before I let you go.
Okay, so students, if you do qualify for the learning material or the laptop, but students need to qualify for laptop. So in order for students to qualify for laptop, you must have registered for 5 modules or more. So if you registered for 5 modules, you qualify for 5,460 as your allowances. Then you can choose whether you want the 5,460 or we take that 5,460 and buy laptop on behalf of our students.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. You did say you have your colleague with you, Mr. Lesabe.
Yes.
If we can see you, Mr. Lesabe, and get ready with your presentation. Yes, we can see you. Maybe you can turn off your camera as soon as you are ready and just project your presentation. Dear students, as he prepares, I did mention that you can go into the chat under the relevant section, post your questions. I see lots of you are doing so. Please do note that even if we may not be able to answer all of your questions today, rest assured in the email and the nice package that I talked about earlier that we are promising to give you next week, you will have your questions answered in that email that you will be getting. Mr. Lesabe, we saw your presentation and then it disappeared a little bit. Let's try again. Great, we can see it. You can then unmute yourself and take the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rashidi. Good morning, colleagues and students. My name is Mulemani Lesabe. I'm also from the Directorate Student Funding, but from the bursary section. My responsibility for you is to deal with different bursaries, especially the UNISA and private bursaries. Okay, the division, in the division we've got various government department bursaries and private bursaries. For instance, we've got the Department of Transport, we've got the Department of Justice, we've got Helensburgh Trust Bursary, we've got different SETA bursaries, and we also have got UNISA Merit Bursary and UNISA Postgraduate and Honors bursaries. And then I'll start with the Department of Transport bursary. Who can apply for that? It's South African citizens who are 35 years old and below. UNISA undergraduate and postgraduate NQF level 6 to 9, students who attained an average of at least 50% on their previous year of study. Returning beneficiaries must have passed 50% or more of their previous year of registered modules. And then which postgraduate qualifications are funded by the Department of Transport? It's your honors in transport economics, and honors in logistics. And then what does the bursary covers? It covers your tuition fees, prescribed textbooks, and the bursary does not fund failed or repeating modules. And then who can apply? Students need to complete the application form. You download the application form from MyUNISA. We will not accept any incomplete application and the application may be sent directly to my colleague, which is Refilwe Makhaya. Her email address, it's showing there. And then please note, returning student must reapply for the funding. Student needs to check their MyLife email account to access bursary outcome. And then I'll move on to the Helensburgh Trust bursary, and then who can apply. This is an invite-based bursary based on students' academic performance and qualification. Only South African citizens can apply for this bursary, and then undergraduate or postgraduate students, and you must have attained an average of at least 60% on their prior year of study. And then students who are temporarily registered, they must be temporarily registered or registered by the 31st of January 2024. And then the bursary fund financially needy and academically deserving students, which we normally call the missing middle category. And then the bursary cover the following qualifications in the fields of medicine, technology, visual arts, music, and health studies. And then what does the bursary covers? It covers your tuition fees, textbooks, transport allowance, laptop, or any other related costs. Like for instance, this year the bursary also allowed us to disperse meal allowances to students. But with the laptop, it's only for first-time bursary recipients. We are pleading with students, they need to check their MyLife email account to access the bursary invite. Not all the students will be invited. And if you need more information, you may contact me on the email that is displaying there. But I also need to clarify what we mean by invitation-based bursary. What will happen is that every year in the month of January, we will pull a list of students who were actively registered in the prior year. Let's say, for instance, next year in January, we will pull a list of all the students across those fields of studies who were registered in 2023. Those students must have registered for qualification in those fields, and the students must have attained an average of at least 60% or above. And once we've got the list, we will then invite only those students who are on the list. That is, we will be satisfied that these students meet almost 90% of the requirements. Then we will invite the students. The students will get an invitation. They will then apply and submit the supporting documents, which will be listed on the application form. So once we receive the application form from the students, we will rank the students according to their performance. Like for instance, students who have got 90% on average will be given first priority. So the highest you score, you'll be given the priority depending on the budget that you will receive at that point in time. So once we have evaluated the application, we will then communicate with the student to give them the outcome of their applications. And it doesn't mean that when you have applied, it means you are guaranteed to be funded, because there are certain checks and balances that you have to do. Like for instance, the funder would like us to fund missing middle students. So we will determine that by requesting students to provide us with their income. If you are not working, if you are just a full-time student, you'll then have to present to us an affidavit and indicate that you are a full-time student, you are not studying. We will do the background check to check whether you're working or not. But for students who are working, they are more than welcome to submit their proof of income. And those who are married, you are required to submit the proof of income for both the applicant and the spouse. That will help us to determine the threshold, which is 650,000. It should be less than 650. If it's above that, unfortunately, you do not qualify. And then I'll then move on to the SETAs, who is eligible for SETA bursaries. We've got some SETA bursaries which are invitation based. Also, they are based on students' academic performance and qualifications. Students who are not invited may apply with SETA directly, and UNISA does not administer the application process if you have applied directly with SETA. You must be a South African citizen between the ages of 18 and 35. Students who are currently unemployed. However, SASETA and SETA bursaries do fund employed students. Students who have attained an average of at least 60% on their prior academic year of studies. This is applicable to some SETA bursaries. Kindly visit their website for more information. And then the different SETA bursaries that are there, it's FACET. And then we've got the Construction Education and Training Authority, which is SETA. And then we've got TETA, which is Transport Education and Training Authority. This is it's funding only students who are registered for logistic related qualifications. And then we've got SASETA, which is the Safety and Security Sector Education and Training, SETA. And then we've got ETDP SETA, Bank SETA, and Service SETA. And we always encourage students to check their MyLife account to access the bursary invite. And not all the students will be invited. As I've indicated, it's also like Helensburgh. But with the SETAs, it's two different. We've got two different. We've got those bursaries which are invite and those who are applying directly to the SETAs. If I talk about the invitation one, normally the SETA will approach the university with a budget. Say, for instance, they will say to us, we've got 10 million. We need you to allocate this money to students, and they will provide us with their requirements. Now, based on their requirements, we will invite only the students who meet the requirements. Like for instance, Banksita will say to us, we've got 3 million. Please select students who are registered for finance-related qualifications. And only students with historic debts. I'm just giving an example. And then we will go there and only select students with historic debts, meaning that if you are in 2023 and then you've got outstanding debts from 2022 and beyond, then you qualify for that historic debt bursary. Then we will invite those students to submit their applications and they will go through the selection process. Once we have collated the information, we'll then send it out to the relevant SETA for their approval. And we encourage students to be patient with us because the approval doesn't come from UNISA, but it comes from the relevant SETA. So once we've got the approval, is then now that we will communicate with the students and said, you have been granted the bursary, or the bursary has been rejected due to certain reasons or whatever reasons might be there. So then we'll allocate the funds accordingly for those who were successfully awarded the bursary. And then with regards to the UNISA bursaries, we've got the UNISA Merit Bursary. And then who can apply for this bursary? The bursary is only awarded to South African citizens registered for a formal qualification in any discipline at UNISA. Students must have obtained an average of at least 75% and above in their previous year of study. They must be financially needy, and the missing middle students qualified to be for the bursary, capped at an annual family income of 600,000. The awards of the bursary will only be made if there is sufficient funding. Here the difference is we will get a certain budget from the university. Say for instance, they will provide us with 13 million and say you can allocate to this. And if we've got students who meet the requirements, like you have obtained an average of 75% and above, but what they are owing is over and above the 13 million, we can only allocate up to 13 million. So what we will do is we will rank students according to their performance and start with those top students, top performers. Continuing with that, students who have received the bursary in 2022 do not need to apply. Such students, like for instance, if you are in 2023, such students must, however, meet the 75% average to be considered for the bursary. So what we will do is we'll pull the list of those students who were funded for the bursary. We'll check their results. If they meet the 75%, then we'll continue to fund them. And then the student must register for a maximum of 5 modules per semester and the equivalent year course. The qualifications that are funded, only students registered for a formal UNISA undergraduate qualification may apply. That is only undergraduate qualifications. What does the bursary cover? It covers your tuition fee, prescribed textbooks, and also here we don't find the repeating modules. And then how you can apply? You apply online. You access the application on My UNISA. We do not accept late applications, and then the applications can be sent to Mr. Kwena Khole, whose email address is displayed. And then moving on to the postgraduate bursary application, and then like your honors or masters, it should be South African citizens who have completed NQF level 7, UNISA undergraduate qualification by the 31st of okay, it should be 31st of January 2024 at an average of 60% on the entire qualification, including the failed modules, or who have passed 3 honors modules with an average of 60. Who cannot apply? UNISA permanent staff cannot apply for the bursary. Students who already hold a postgraduate degree at the same or higher qualification level to the qualification registered in the year of registration. And what does the bursary fund? The bursary covers tuition fees only. The award funds students for the first 2 consecutive years of study. The bursary doesn't cover repeating modules. The bursary doesn't cover historic debts. The bursary does not fund special study programs, including certificate like your PGCE certificate or non-degree purposes program. Know that the awarding will be provided from the highest to the lowest performing students, meaning that we will also rank the students according to their performance. Applicants must be submitted online via MyUNISA. UNISA gives no guarantee that the bursary will be awarded to all eligible students, meaning that you may apply for the bursary, but that doesn't guarantee you that you'll be awarded the bursary. Sometimes it's due to budget constraints. If you have been a beneficiary for the full bursary years student, you will not be funded for an additional year whatsoever. If a student fails to comply with any of the conditions of the award or terminates their studies, the UNISA postgraduate bursary will be cancelled, and the current year's UNISA postgraduate bursary amount awarded will be charged to the student's account, which will be handed over to the UNISA Legal and Finance Department to effect collection process. The bursary application, it's online as we indicated. You can just go to MyUNISA to access the bursary application platform. You can use various modes of applications like your smartphone, laptop, or tablet. The application process, students will visit the application bursary website page on MyUNISA. Student will read the bursary guidelines and the terms and conditions. The student will apply for the bursary using the application link provided on MyUNISA. Then the Division Student Funding postgraduate bursary application section will process the student's application and check the student's eligibility. Then the student's application will be vetted by each college's honors coordinator, along with the student funding postgraduate application section and college representatives. Once the application is vetted and approved, a list will be sent to student funding for award section for further processing and awarding. All the communication will be done via my live email. You may contact us to inquire about the bursary through the DSF postgraduate bursary application section which the email is displayed in there. And lastly, we thank you so much and hope that we will receive your application when we invite you, or you'll apply through our different platforms for bursaries. I thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. I see lots and lots of applause to appreciate your presentation and sharing of that valuable information. Ladies and gentlemen, applications for postgraduate studies will remain open as earlier indicated until early in the year. And that means you are still on time, even if it's not for yourself, but for your family members, friends, and colleagues, you can let them know that UNISA does have those opportunities for funding that they can also pursue. I'm going to just indicate very briefly, because I see we are running out of time. I wanted to just see, I see we have still lots of students joining on YouTube as well, and those who have stayed in the regions attending this event, please do stay, because we are going to the last round of presentations, and the next item will be presented by Mr. Hapstad, who is going to take us through an item titled How to Prepare for Your First Year. So he's going to do that. In the meantime, as he comes up, please, colleagues, UNISA colleagues, let us engage with the students in the chat. Let's respond to the questions that they are posting. Thank you very much. Over to you, David.
All right. Good morning, students. Is it still morning? No, good afternoon, students. Thank you for joining us today. All right, so I'm going to quickly jump in. So if you are one of those applicants that's still in the process, that means you haven't accepted your offer yet, and maybe you're getting that block up that keeps popping up, please check the two things. First thing is your user ID, guys. When you join the MOOC site, you need to use your ID, your student number, sorry, not your ID. User ID must just be your student number, nothing else. No special characters, no letters, no funny names, no email addresses, just your student number. Then once you've completed the MOOC, please check under tests and quizzes, click on submit for grading. So you'll see this says self-assessment. You click on it, 5 little questions, answer it, click submit for grading, and then it's going to say to you, hey, are you ready to submit? And you say yes, submit again, and then it'll go through. Then after that, wait 5 minutes, go to the application tool and go and accept your offer. So if you are one of those, that's actually what you need to do. Okay, so what I'm speaking about, guys, is what support and resources and services can you access, get planning ahead so that you are aware of exactly how and what you're going to do next year. So there's a couple of items I'm going to run through. The very first one is your web orientation, guys. So you can access on our website. We will send out the links after this event so you guys can easily access it, where it just basically explains everything to you, what you're going to need to know, what courses you can do in the meantime. And my colleague Richard will actually show you some of those courses so that it can just help you understand this is what you're getting into. So when you hit January next year, you know exactly what you're going to do and everything is clear. So you're not going to be sitting waiting after registration, then wondering what happens next. So you will know exactly what you're going to do. So web orientation, guys, it'll definitely give you lots of information and you can access it immediately. And then it'll also build up an idea of what you need to put in place. Now, as my colleagues have already mentioned, when you're preparing for your studies, this is very important. You need to identify what device are you going to use. Ideally, the device that you are owning, okay, not borrowing from somebody, because today you might borrow it, tomorrow they might not have it available for you. So think about it, guys, your smartphone or your laptop or your tablet, what you're going to use. Is it updated? Make sure you've got data and internet if you're going to be studying pretty much off campus. You must just make sure, okay, what type of internet or data plan have I got and how I'm going to study it. When you've got data, please avoid YouTube and watching videos and other nonsense, because that's just eating your data. You're going to have to be committed to your studies. So really think about how you're going to manage your internet. Of course, campuses have free internet, free Wi-Fi, which you can actually go and use. But that's also coming up, and some of the colleagues have mentioned that as well. Then we've also got, what skills do you need? Again, we've got Microsoft 365 guide. So once you've registered, you will have access to Microsoft 365 online, and you've got all the things, and you can even download it and install it on your device. So you will have access to Word and PowerPoint and all those programs, okay? Because you're a UNISA student, you're getting it for free. So you don't have to pay for that anymore, guys. Then your typing skills, make sure you know how to type, because one finger isn't going to help you if you're doing an online exam. So there are typing tutors available, they're free, you can work through those, develop those skills. Your online, understanding how online systems work, it's all part of the courses that we're still going to show you. And of course, searching and doing all this type of thing. And please guys, searching does not mean AI must do the assignment for you. Okay, there are tools that are already in place at the university, and it will tell us if you're actually using AI. So you can't cut shortcuts anymore, hey? So please write it in your own words, and definitely AI can help, but write it in your own words. Then, of course, another big one is, guys, help and support your friends, your family. They need to understand that you're committed to this. As a colleague just said to you, the bursaries, if you fail, they don't pay for you. So be careful. So make sure you pass, because you don't want to miss the opportunities and further your studies. And of course, very importantly, how does the university support you? That's an easy one. Where you're staying, what is your nearest campus? Go and visit them. Go and meet the people in the library, in the computer labs. Get their email addresses, get their contact details. So when you're sitting at home and you've got a problem, you can contact them. Or when you go to campus, you can contact them, because now you're building a relationship with those people that can help you and support you during your studies. They are critical for your success. What will happen is, guys, so next year, January, you're going to register, you're going to pay the fees. And once you are done and you've joined my UNISA, then you're going to notice the FYE 1500 is going to pop up under one of your modules. So don't panic. We are going to do it from our side. But this course, basically, it's a sort of an induction, and it takes you through all the elements that you need to know about, like the library. How do you access it? Where do you find the information? The basic literacies, how you're going to write proper English, not this funny SMS English that we do see, especially on the emails, guys. Yes, I'm one of the guys that responds to your emails quite often. So please have a look at that. You've got your numeracy and your basic digital literacy and your basic study skills. So there's a lot of simple, useful information that you can then build into what you've already planned. And then you can, of course, do the activities as well, so that we can actually see that you've learned something from that course. And again, it's automatically done for you, so you don't have to worry. But when you see it, please engage it. It's very quick to do. We normally do it before the assignments start, so that you guys then don't have to worry about this interfering with your other modules. Okay, it's nothing you have to do. We will add you, but it's really useful for you to do that. During your web orientation, now again, this is after you've registered, you will be having access to my support hub. It's just a central point where you can access different learning resources. And that's quite a quick thing for you to actually access as well. It's also just put some videos and things that are happening in the campuses around the country and online, and of course some troubleshooting and things like that. So it's just a nice central point to start from to find the things that you're looking for. No activities there, guys, but it's just there for you to find your way. So as I mentioned, we've got regions, they're all over the show. Okay, so please, you've got between now and January, go and visit the campus, see where it is, see who's there, see what facilities they have, like computer labs or libraries, study space. Use these facilities, guys, because it's there. You've free internet, you've got those generators that keep the electricity running. So there is benefits apart from meeting the staff and those people that can build up the support structure. So that is critical as well. And if you need that support, just know where it is and how to access it. So that's also very important. Then, of course, you guys can contact us. As I said, FYE, that's the mailbox I'm working on pretty much all the time with my team, with colleagues, and we are responding to emails. Even over the weekends, you guys might notice UNISA's operating hours is actually Monday to Friday, but because we know you are pushing, you're trying to get done with your acceptance of your offers, we are helping you wherever we possibly can, so going beyond the extra mile, as they say. Then, of course, you also do have what we call the phone book. And again, we will give this link to you. And sitting on my UNISA, you'll see it's student inquiries, and it's got a complete list of all the universities' contact details, from the colleges to the exam support, assignment support, the regions, everybody in the regions. So it's like a phone book. It has everything there. So that is definitely something you will need to refer to. And yep, so all the best with your studies, guys. If you're in the application process, please try to complete it as soon as you can, and then get ready for next year, January. Thank you, Mr. Rashidi, back to you.
Thank you, David. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard about how you can prepare for your first year at UNISA from a technology access and service access point of view. The next item again just adds up to what David was talking about, and slightly from a different point of view. Before we come to Richard, we go to a very important question. Very, very important for you to think about, whether you are currently a person with disability or not. But the question is to disclose or not to disclose your disability. And I'm going to open the floor for Mr. Pintas Nkuna. He's going to talk to us about the importance of disclosure. He's going to talk to us about what support is available if we know what disability you may have. You must also remember that we might not have a disability yet, but we might acquire it at a later stage, and that disabilities are not limited to physical. And so we're going to hear all about that from Mr. Nkuna. I see you are ready. Please, you can unmute and project your presentation and take the floor. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rashidi, and greetings to everyone. Colleagues, we've prepared a short recording. Then I'll ask Mr. Mashishi to play it. Thank you. From the Advocacy and Resource Center for Students with Disabilities, which is widely known as ACSWID. As part of the introduction, ladies and gentlemen, ACSWID is a division under the auspices of the Department of Student Affairs within the Office of the Dean of Students. It is responsible for creating an inclusive educational environment for students with diverse disabilities by providing a wide range of services throughout the student walk, which means is to provide services from the point of registration until your graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, today my focus will be on the topic to disclose or not to disclose your disability. ACSWID has two focus areas, one being student support and administration. Under student supported administration, we include the following: application, registration, study material in alternative formats, academic support, sign language interpretation services, orientation and mobility, just to mention a few. Under advocacy and training, we provide a number of services, including ensuring that the policies are inclusive to promote and accommodate your diverse needs, and also provide training to students and staff members on different access technology in order to ensure that students with disabilities enjoy their studies at UNISA. The importance of disclosure. ACSWID encourages students not to conceal their disabilities. Ladies and gentlemen, while we respect your right to disclose or not to disclose your disability, remember that students who does not disclose their disabilities may not receive or even demand reasonable accommodation from the university, because the university won't be aware of your individual needs, because we don't apply this one-size-fits-all approach. Ladies and gentlemen, two students may present the same disability, only to find that their needs are completely different. E.g., two blind students, one who were born blind and the one who acquired blindness in a later stage, their needs will completely differ. And again, it also goes to other disabilities. Disclosure ensures that students with disabilities receive the legal protection and the rights under the disability-related legislations, such as the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and the Promotion of Equality and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act, which is PEPUDA. Ladies and gentlemen, the benefits of disclosure are not limited to the following. Students who disclose their disabilities at the point of application, they are taken off the waiting list. They immediately get an offer without them being put on the waiting list if they qualify for the qualification they applied for. This is it's an indication that UNISA is sensitive to your needs and is serious about accommodating students with disabilities. There's also dedicated bursaries for students with disabilities. These bursaries assist students with tuition fees, assistive devices, prescribed books, and there's also an allocation for medical assessments, whereby when you need a proof of your disability, you can use that allocation to get a medical assessment letter. And it also covers human support. Human support is whereby a student with a disability require an external support. For instance, a deaf student may require a sign language interpreter. This allocation may be used for that purpose, and for other disabilities as well who require support. We also have fee concession dedicated for students with disabilities. The fee concession is a discount for students who are qualifying for this. In order to qualify for the fee concession, students should be registered for more than 2 modules and should be earning below the 80,000 threshold per annum, which means students who are receiving disability grants automatically qualify for this. And then please, students, submit your proof of income and proof of disability and your ID copy to ensure that you receive the support in terms of fee concession. Students who disclose their disabilities are able to access or receive accessible study material at the point of registration. Just to mention a few: electronic study material, it could be accessible PDF documents, Word document, Braille study material, large print as per your individual requirements, audio material, etc. In order for a student to receive this kind of study material, at the point of registration, you complete a special assistant form that can also be completed online wherever you are doing your registration at. Then students who also disclose that they have they're deaf or who have hard of hearing, they are able to receive sign language interpretation services at the point of registration, and this will assist the student to select qualifications of their choices and the number of modules as well. We also ensure that students at the point of registration who mention that they have print disabilities, they are also able to complete a one-page form to receive prescribed books in accessible formats so that they can be able to study without any hassle. Then when I say students with different disabilities, just to mention a few, we have students with learning disabilities like dyslexia. We have students who are blind who cannot read cited material. We have students who are with quadriplegia who may struggle to page through pages. Then these students can also receive this kind of study material by completing the undertaking form at the point of registration. And students can also request for special examination arrangements immediately they register. Then these special examination arrangements includes extra time and alternative assessments throughout their studies. This could include students who are doing continuous assessments. They may require extra time as part of the continuous assessment. Then that could be arranged by completing the form at the point of registration in all our regional offices. You can also get access to the multipurpose computer labs for students with disabilities in all the regions. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, that these multipurpose computer labs are equipped with access technology to accommodate the diverse needs of students with disabilities. Then immediately you disclose your disability, you register, then that allows you to make use of these services. Students with disabilities are also given an opportunity as part of self-representation in the regional forums and association for students with disabilities. You can only given access to these forums and association when you disclose your disability. And again, as the university will be embarking on the election of regional forums and association in the beginning of the year, it is important that you disclose so that you can be involved and the information can be shared with you as to when and how the elections will be conducted. In terms of assignments in cases whereby your disability will may interfere with your studies, then we can also request assignment concession, but only for students who disclose their disabilities. And if you're a blind or partial sighted student, at the point of registration, you can be provided with orientation and mobility so that you can be familiar with our university campuses. Then this will enable you to visit different offices, including career counseling offices, your student funding offices, and other offices in the universities, including offices for students with disabilities and multipurpose labs. Ladies and gentlemen, we also advise students on access technology relevant to your needs. As I mentioned earlier, that we have a bursary that accommodates the diverse needs of students with disabilities. Then by contacting us, we'll be able to assist you and advise you on which access technology can you apply for as part of the bursary. Then, and also students, immediately after you've registered, if you don't have access technology, you can visit websites like www.nva-access.org/download/. This is a free screen reader which can assist you to study. Then when you download this, you can open your study guides, then it will read loud for you while waiting for the assistive devices as part of the bursary. And this can be used by any student, not only students who are blind. Ladies and gentlemen, I felt it is important for me to highlight that in line with the motto for persons with disabilities, then nothing about us without us. The university is proud to say ACSUT has staff members. ACSUT staff members comprise of persons who were born with and those who acquire disabilities in their lifetime. Then these colleagues have first experience of the diverse disabilities. This, I'm sure, students will make you at ease to see that when I contact ACSWIT, these are colleagues who understand disabilities. They won't judge me in any way. Ladies and gentlemen, one may ask, is disability my responsibility as a UNISA student? The answer is a big yes. Anyone can acquire disability, and not all disabilities are visible. There are two forms of persons with disabilities: those who are born with disabilities and those who acquire disabilities. You can acquire disabilities through accidents, including step wounds, gunshots, diving in a swimming pool. And you know, as young people out there, you like playing loud music, then that can also contribute to hearing loss. Then some other students, when they take particular medication, it also contributes to the loss of their vision. Then it is therefore important for you to ensure that you listen carefully and you grasp as much as you can information about students with disabilities, and also come out and disclose if you acquire a disability. Whether it's permanent or it's temporary disability, we are here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also aware that certain students, in particular those who are new in the world of disability, are reluctant to disclose due to the fear of stigma and victimization. I must say that disclosing a disability will only open opportunities for you to receive the required support. No one will victimize you or even stigmatize you. Ladies and gentlemen, we urge all of you to join hands against the prejudice that constitute the biggest barrier against students with disabilities. These are the contact details of ACSWIT. If you need any support from us, please drop an email to acswit@unisa.ac.za. And then regarding bursaries, please send an email to, regarding bursaries for students with disabilities, please send an email to dicozet@unisa.ac.za. In conclusion, I'd like to leave you with this quote from an anonymous source. Open quote. Please understand, I have a disability, not a disease. You can't catch it. I may walk, talk, and move differently than you do, but on the inside, I'm not so different. Close quote. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few words and this quote, I'd like to say to you, it is important that you work with your fellow students with disabilities, and by associating with them, it won't in any way attract disabilities, or let me rather say, by working with your fellow students with disabilities does not put you at a risk of acquiring a disability. We will be providing what we called Ubuntu. With these few slides, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all the best with your studies at UNISA. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nkuna, for the recording. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for the presentation on the issue of whether to disclose or not, the kind of support that you will get if you do disclose, because we find that students make last-minute requests because they were shy, they were not so sure whether or not they should explicitly say that they have this or that disability. Thank you very much to Tata Mashishi also for helping with the projection of the recording. We move swiftly. Two last items, ladies and gentlemen. We then move to Mr. Richard Wright. He is from the from ADOV, and he is going to be speaking on resources for a successful first-year student. If you are a first-year student, as you are or going to be, this again is yet another presentation on what else you will need in order to make sure that your first-year journey at UNISA bears fruit. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you, Lekau, and congratulations to everybody for making it so far into this program. So hopefully you can get some valuable resources now to really get started during this December. So my name is Richard Wright, and we're from ADOVH. That's the Academic Development Open Virtual Hub. And we really focus on getting you the required skills that you need to be a successful online learner, and also the 4 IR skills that you need. As you might know already from all the AI news going around, the world is evolving very, very quickly, and we want to keep you ahead of the trends. So the first site that I want you to access is ADOVH site. It's on the UNISA domain. It's free to access. You can actually access it already before you registered. You can create a free account. So if you're on YouTube or any of the other channels, you can pause and take a picture of the QR code or write down the URL. I will share all the links in the chat when I'm done with the presentation. So I just want to quickly show you how easy it is to access ADOVH. So just open up your browser, type in ADOVH, UNISA, press enter, and it should be the first one that pops up. So this is what the platform looks like. I would always advise start with this page, how to log in, where it takes you step by step. But essentially, you just click on the login button at the top. If you are a UNISA student, that means you're a registered student. You can click yes, and you will get your MyLife account to log in. If you are not a UNISA student yet, you haven't registered yet, click on no, and then you can create a new account. So you can create a personal account before you're going to register, so that you can get into all of these courses that's available. So if we look at these courses, as we mentioned, there's quite a few that you can get started with, all the way from basic digital skills to how do you actually use the online learning management system, how do you prepare for your exams, and then also the Office 365. And that's a tool that you will be using during your studies. That's a tool that you will be using in a workplace one day. And we've got a complete Office 365 course on there. And as I mentioned, you can access them already, work through them. So another link that I want to share with you is this Getting Started with My UNISA. So this is, you might already have heard quite a few terms, but we're talking about My UNISA, My Modules, My Life, Office 365. You know, how do you actually get started? From the day that you register, what is it that you need to do? So if you're going to follow this link, this gives you a step-by-step guide. So where you start, you click on the YouTube video. It's very short YouTube videos just on a specific topic to really help you just master that one topic, and then you can continue. And this will give you a clear path of how do you actually go through registering, accessing all of these resources. Now, the first one that we will be doing from February, so look out on your emails and SMSs for when we're going to start with this. And this will be the My Modules. So remember, this will be the learning management system where you can be conducting all your studies. So to really master it as quick as possible will really set you ahead of the others. So the course is available, but we will in February have workshops as well. We will come and meet you online again. We will visit regions. So to really give you the support that you need to get started with the My Modules learning management system as quick as possible. Now, a lot of you might, be very new to technology. Maybe you're only familiar with your cell phone. You're going to be studying with your phone. Maybe you just want a refresher on what is all these terms that we use. When we talk about cloud computing, collaborative online, what does this mean? So we've actually got this basic skills in digital literacy course. It's available on the platform. It's game-based, so it's very fun to do. I really advise you to go and start off with this one. As I mentioned, if you're on YouTube, we will post the links in the description. Else, I will also post in the Q&A all the links to the sites. So this is really a fun way to just really learn the basics concepts so that you know exactly what devices are going to be used and how to use them. And then you build up from there to Microsoft 365. So once you're going to register, you're going to get a Microsoft 365 account that's called My Life, and you will have access to all the apps that's available in Microsoft 365 for students. And this is all the business apps that you will also one day use in the workplace. So if you're going to learn these skills, it's already something you can put on your CV. With the Microsoft 365 course that we have online, if you complete most of the activities, we do draw out once a semester all the names that have completed, and you actually get a Microsoft certificate of completion for that course. So please go and do this. That's something that you can already add to your CV, and you can do it very, very quickly. And as I mentioned, it is open, so you can go and get started with it already. So then, as you come then towards the end of the second semester, we will guide you through exactly how the exams work. You might be the first time that you will be writing online exams. What are the proctoring tools, all those things that you're going to need. So we really take you step by step through how to set it up, how to test it. We've even got mock exams that you can access to really test how is it going to work in a real, almost a simulated environment for your actual exams. So have a look out for that as well when we communicate this towards the end of the semester, when we do this My Exams workshops, but the guides are also available online for you to work through. So that will just me for a quick introduction. So I will see all of you next year, hopefully, in one of our workshops, where we learn all these new digital skills and really prepare you not just for studies, but also for the workplace one day. Thanks, Lekau.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much for that presentation. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to appreciate that information, especially the aspect where he says that some of these are already available for you. So you don't have any reason to feel stuck or for you to keep waiting for you to finalize your registration before you can access them, as he has demonstrated. I think what is very, very key and important to mention is that aspects like My UNISA, My modules, and all of that. I see in the chat somehow we're asking, can I do this already? Can I do that already? For some of this, you would have to register first, pay for your registration fee or minimum fee, and then you'll have access to My UNISA and the rest of those. But you will see from the package that I keep talking about what exactly you will have access to now before you register, and what you will have to wait for before you can have access that is post your registration. Last item, and this last item is equally important, ladies and gentlemen, because it talks about how you can get in touch with UNISA. And I'm going to invite Kwanele Bidla. She is going to then talk to you about how you can get in touch with the University of South Africa in the different ways that we do. I don't think I see her in the meeting, but I see Mejesi follow. If I can get some indication, Follow, if you would like to go or someone else is taking her place.
Good afternoon. We'll take this one. She's probably experiencing load shedding where she is. Good afternoon, students. Just a minute for me to open. Oh, there she's connecting. She's connecting. Sorry about that.
No problem. While we wait for her to connect, I don't see her yet. I'm going to just check Lisa, if you are still here. Just got a pounce on you, and just maybe make an indication of your availability from your side, as students might just acting on their feet and wanting to be proactive, and in terms of planning for their studies. Do you want to say something regarding your availability to assist the students? I know you did mention the different ways that they can contact you, but if they need to physically visit the campuses and things like those, please, if you can just say something in less than 30 seconds.
Thank you, Luca. Well, the easiest way to get a hold of us is through the counselling@unisa email address. But if you would want to see a counsellor in person, they are available during the normal UNISA office hours. So that's from 8 to 4 during the week. And then the online bookings, you can book at any time, but the appointments are also available from 8 o'clock until 4 o'clock during the week. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mesefulu, over to you.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Apologies for that. Kwanele is experiencing load shedding in Florida. I'm the Deputy Director. My name is JC Sifula, Deputy Director for the Contact Center. That is the environment that you will be contacting when you're seeking support. Our purpose is to support you, to make your journey easy, support you with dignity, care about your distress call when you call us, and be there for you. The contact center looks after the whole student walk, from application to registration. We then, for inquiries that are more complex, we escalate to environments in the back office, but we are your go-to person when you're looking for support within the university. This is our objectives. We want to be able to, when you call us, be able to answer you within a minute, to be able to respond to your email within 48 hours. The calls part, it's a toll-free number. Due to the number of inquiries that come through to the contact center, we receive over 600,000 inquiries per year. Last year in 2022, and year to date, we are already over that number of inquiries that were resolved within the contact center. So the telephone side of things is in high demand. So bear with us when you call in. It is a toll-free number, so you can hold. It is a toll-free number for national within South Africa. Unfortunately for our international student, there is a cost implication. So you are encouraged to reach us with our other means of entry points. When contacting us, like I've said, reach out to us via the 0800 number for the South African community, and via email, which is the Enquire mailbox. We also have data inquiries because as an incoming student of UNISA, UNISA will be dispensing data to you on monthly basis. So when you have those data inquiries, I haven't received data for this month, or my data was loaded and it's disappeared, or my number has changed and data is still going to my old number, and so forth and so on. Those inquiries are the ones that will be going to data inquiries. We have other mailboxes, and we also ring-fenced exams. Due to high volumes that come through to the contact center via phone or your emails and other means of entry. We've had to ring fence exams so that when it's your exam time, we are able to prioritize you, because you're having an inquiry and you need support. You are sitting in front of your computer and you need help because you are unable to open Invigilator and all those matters that you might struggle with during the exam inquiries. So we have that mailbox also separate to be able to assist you. We are then available to you as well via your Twitter and Facebook pages. We have social chats there. If you DM in those spaces, you come through to the contact center. We also have a live chat that is on the corporate page and on the exam, where you have a consultant sitting and waiting to answer and respond to your queries. We've deployed self-help, which is available to you to answer majority of your questions that are common inquiries 24/7. It's on the also corporate page where you log on as a student. It's written FAQ. That's how you can also reach us. And we are really fighting to make sure that by end of December at least we have our virtual assistants live, so that when you start with your registration in the new year, you are at least able to also go through and be able to help yourself 24/7 and only come through to the contact center if you need to speak to a person. When engaging us, make sure that you quote your student number, you give us your contact details, a full description of your challenge, screen prints, screen dumps if they are available. And whoever you speak to within the contact center, on the phone, please do not put the phone down before you are given a case number. The case number is automated when you're coming through via email and so forth, but on the phone, it has to be generated manually. That case number assists you when you are following up on an inquiry to check that you have tried to engage us and it's been a while and no one has come back to you. The next consultant that picks up and go into that case number, they'll be able to see the history of your inquiry, and then you don't have to repeat yourself. I will pause there and thank you, Chair, and looking forward to supporting your students in the new year. Good luck and all of the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Polo from the Student Communication Services Center for informing our students that they can DM. How cool is that? To get the answers to whatever questions they have. Thank you very much. We are at the end of the program. I just want to share some few announcements. I think it is important to do so, just so that you are fully aware of some aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wrap up, the first is that once you have registered for 2024, we are going to publish a schedule of post-registration orientation, which is going to take place in the week of 12 to 16 February. And you may have seen from the invitations you received to this specific event that we were intending on using Facebook Live. Unfortunately, due to technical and other reasons, we were not able to do so, but we hope those who would like to join us, given the many ways that we have employed for you to join this event, that Facebook Live would be one of those. Again, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, do not wait. As soon as you have registered, as soon as you have paid the minimum fee, please go on and claim your UNISA logins so that you can start with your academic activities. We have seen, or rather heard, that registration opens on the 5th of January. and that it might take 48 hours for your registration to be activated depending on the payment method. Once that 48-hour period passes, please do make sure you claim your MyUNISA logins. From the student retention side, where I come from, we are going to be sending you emails on a weekly basis with everything that you need to know about that is coming up in the week that follows, and everything that you have missed in the week that passed. And this is a service that we commit to doing for you so that you always know what is going on around you that may impact on your studies and your academic activities. I know you might also come across a number of Telegram groups and everything. Just know that the one that comes from the Student Retention Unit, you are going to be asked to self-enroll into that Telegram channel. Again, it is for first-year students, and you will have much more regular updates about what's going on as a first-year student at UNISA, what you need to know, and so on. Then, as I promised, next week, early next week, you are going to get an info pack. It is that nice little package I was talking about, where you're going to get a lot more answers to your questions, links to these presentations, links to support services, links to where you can find your nearest regional office, those who may not have visited their region yet. We're also going to get a feedback survey just so that you can make sure, or rather that you can tell us how you found this particular event, if it was useful. Very few questions, just for you to give us feedback on your experience of this event and what you possibly have expected to have been included and was not, and what else you found very useful. And we hope that the program itself was very useful for you, and that's why you are still here in your numbers. Second last announcement, I did share earlier about the UNISA radio. Please, whenever you switch on Metro FM and Power FM, you will also be able to switch on to the UNISA radio and find out the latest and current news on the UNISA radio, about UNISA, for UNISA students all around. Last but not least, many of you have joined us on the YouTube channel. And even those who have visited the regions, those who are joining on MS Teams, you still have access to the very same link that is a UNISA student support link. You will see, if you scroll through on that same link, you've got lots and lots of videos about how to do this or how to do that, support programs that are available, recording of support interventions that were provided that you can already have access to. With those words, I want to thank you for joining us on YouTube, on MS Teams, visiting our regional campuses, those who were able to bring their own device to use the campus Wi-Fi. Thank you very much for doing so. We hope that you found this orientation useful and that you feel much more empowered and much more ready for 2024 academic year. Thank you to the program presenters. Round of applause to all of those who are still here. Please, let's thank the presenters through emojis and reactions to say that they have done a great job in empowering us with the information that they have shared with us. To the organizers from the Student Retention Unit, from the Midlands colleagues, Mr. Mashishi, Mr. Tau, and Mr. Matibesi, for running the technical side of things. Thank you very much for that. To the regional directors who really helped make this possible. Thank you very much. The HFLs, the TELs, the digital learning advisors, the marketing staff, everyone who played a role in this event being a success that it is. We thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we wish you all of the best in the registration process that you are going to be partaking in, that's coming up. But we also hope that you have a great festive season. Keep safe. we want to see you registering for your first year at UNISA, and all the best to you all. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day further.